Hi, LaShonda.
Hi, Angela.
How's it going?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
going good. It's going good. It's Sunday, it's been
It
a
is Sunday.
mellow day. So
Well,
you ready to get started?
I guess I'm ready to get started. So I'm Angela.
And I'm LaShonda, and we are a Black woman and a white woman walk into a bar.
Yay. This is our seventh episode, right? I think this is our seventh episode.
7. This is number 7. How nuts is that?
That's crazy. That's cool.
For all people know, we could do these like in 7 days of the week, but your decor has changed enough so that it's obvious. My decor is not. It's like television.
Oh, because of my tree, I mean?
Yeah. That's going to be the barometer. So if it's still up at around Valentine's Day.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. It's coming down. It's coming down probably New Year's Day. I don't keep by the time I usually get my tree like right before Christmas, but we were having a shortage of Christmas trees in New York. So I got it much earlier. So by the time New Year's Day comes, I'll be so ready to get that out of my living room. No offense, tree. It's very cute. I love it.
Yeah. So, girl, how was your Christmas? I know some of it because I was there.
Because you were there. Well, before we go into that, I think we want to point out that we're not doing cocktails today.
Oh,
We're
honey, no. We did too
I'm
many
doing
of
a
those for
San
Christmas.
Pellegrino product placement, but yeah,
I'm drinking seltzer water with my usual floaty pomegranate seeds.
because I
Which,
think we
if you know
both,
me, you know I love them.
I know you and your pomegranate seeds, but I think we both decided that there was enough alcohol consumed over the past couple days, and then we've got New Year's coming up, so we're taking a little breather from the cocktail. Yeah, but we still want to do our toast, right? And I think you're doing the toast today.
I am doing the toast today, and I think that this week's toast, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do until right up until a couple of minutes ago, but I want to send out a toast to folks who are weathering all of this storm completely alone. And that's me. That's a lot of people that I know. Yeah. And that are here to still tell the story. We hear about increased rates of self-harm and worse during the holiday season. And I'm glad that we're still here. Yeah. Especially during a time where we all have to also self-isolate. Right. So this is cheers to being present and still being here for all of us that are still here.
Cheers. Cheers. I hear you, because, when this thing started, my first thought, I was a latchkey kid. I have a half brother, but I didn't live with him. So, I basically grew up as, I don't like the term only child. I prefer sibling free. No offense to my brother, but I'm used to spending a lot of time alone. And so when this thing started, I thought, I got this. This is fun. But this has been so hard. I am so surprised by what a struggle this has been for me. Yeah. It's just, it's one thing to say, I live by myself, but I got friends around. I see, but it's another thing to say, you're not going to be around anybody. You're not going to have anybody to hug. You're not going to have anybody to just, hey, do you know the answer to 6 down in the New York Times crossword puzzle? It's been really, really lonely and really hard. And the holidays, of course, the holidays make it even, highlight that even more. So, yeah. So here's to all of us who have been managing through this. And
who are still trying to manage,
because we don't have, who knows how much longer this is going to go on.
I haven't had a hug since September.
I can't do the hard thing very well. I'm sending you out a hug. I know it's
Uh,
not the same, but yeah,
oof,
it sucks. It sucks.
it does. It's hard.
And I don't have any animals. You got Gustavo.
I do have Gustavo. I don't know what I would do if I
Yeah,
didn't.
I don't have any
I
animals right now.
really don't know how. I would have probably managed to adopt like 5 dogs and a cat.
Yeah, yeah.
It would have been a situation. If I didn't have him before, and it's as many beautiful animals as I've seen go up for adoption and things. I have a friend, Rachel, who was hosting, she was fostering, not hosting, but fostering a pregnant mom who had 7 kittens,
Wow.
and they were all named after hotels because she met the cat at a hotel and named her Hampton because Hampton Inn.
Cute.
The cat waited for her under her car, jumped into her lap, drove in the car with her on her lap, completely calm, like this
Yeah.
was a normal thing that she always did. Um,
My cat
and
used to
she
do that. Kitty.
really,
Yeah.
Kitty did that?
I would take Kitty with me when I go do laundry at my mom's, and Kitty would just jump in the car because we had stayed at my mom's for in between apartments. And Kitty loved where my mom lived because there was a big there's a big empty, like it was a big hill behind my mom's place with lots of field
Uh-huh.
mice. So she would love that. So yeah, when I would do laundry, Kitty would jump in the car with me, and we'd get to my mom's. She'd jump out, she'd run around, I'd do my laundry. When it was time to leave, I say, kitty cat, she'd come and run and jump in the car, and we'd go home.
That is the most dog-like thing I
I
think I've
know.
ever heard a cat do.
She was a great cat. She was an awesome cat.
She was. I met her in her, as she was a bit more of a mature lady. She was always very clear about what she wanted. I remember her coming up to me, looking at me, going, "Hey, you with thumbs, I want food." She would go, eh. What's happening over there?
I see a picture. No, I know we hate people. People hate. She's my soul cat.
Yeah, she was a sweet, sweet girl.
She's a tortoiseshell. She was super lovely. I loved her.
Yeah. Um,
So how was your Christmas?
I mean, it was
I know you
really
spent part of it with
lovely.
me.
I did indeed. I spent a bunch of it with you on your Zoom. I had a few FaceTimes with friends, a few conversations with various members of my family. I think those were all the day before, though. I don't actually remember talking to any of my family members Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have spoken very early in the morning or the night before. But see, that's the whole problem, is that I was in and out so much on Christmas Day because you just want to feel like you're around people,
Yeah.
So I was hopping around so much that I don't remember the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day sort of blended together as one day for me to a certain degree. But I did enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. You know, yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. It was nice. I appreciated it for what it was, which was unlike any other holiday I've ever had.
It was definitely different. As you know, I did what I did on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
which was I just set up a Zoom call for all day. When I did it at Thanksgiving, I think I had 3 people. So I didn't that popped in, and what I did is I said, I'm just going to put an open Zoom thing. So nobody has to feel like you have to be sitting in front of your laptop. This is just so this was specifically for people who are alone on Christmas. And I said, just so you feel like there's another person in the room, so you can walk by and wave and stuff, but you don't need to say anything if you don't want. So I did that again for Christmas. I set it up for 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And I think I had like total maybe like 12, 15 people. I mean, it was a lot. And I was surprised. And the thing with Zoom is if it's idle for more than, I learned 40 minutes, it cuts off. So there were 3 times that I had to sign in again. But other than that, I had people on for 12 hours. And it was nice. And as you know, Lashana, back when I had my living room, now I have it again, but I didn't have it for quite a while. My nephew was living with me. But before that, I would have an open house on Christmas. So this was kind of like a virtual open house. So it was kind of nice. It was nice having people stop by. And people would pop in and leave and come back. I think you came like 3 times.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times.
Naps.
I go take a nap, I'll be back. It was, yeah. And my first visitor was my friend Carla, who I've known since 1st grade. And she lives in Denmark. So she was there like right away, of course, because it's 6 hours. I think it's 6 hours earlier there or later there. So that was nice. And then my brother and his wife and his daughter stopped by, and that was lovely. So I got to spend some time with them and yeah, just friends, and yeah, it was really nice. I did it. In my head, I was doing it for other people, but really, I realized I was doing it for myself. And Christmas was much nicer day than I expected. It was really nice.
Let's talk about this whole subject that we've decided to tackle today, which is, I think, a really sweet thought process that goes into it. It sort of gets people focusing on the things that they love and what they're grateful for, especially if they were gifts in the past. So we reached out to folks and we asked them, what are your favorite gifts, either given or received? Mm-hmm. So what are your favorite gifts that you've either given or received, Angela?
Okay, I'm going to tell an embarrassing story because you know me. When I was in 3rd grade, I was desperately in love with a boy in my school. His name was Scott Hart. And he was so cute. He was super cute and he was super smart. And I like the smart ones. And he actually got put ahead a year because he was so smart. And for some reason, I have no idea why, but the thing was, at my school, if you liked a boy, what you would do is you would tell your friends that you liked him, and they would chase him down at recess, and they would hold him down, and then you would kiss him. Yeah, it was great. I know. So I did this, and as soon as I did it, I was mortified, and I thought, I can't believe I did this. He's going to hate me. He's going to think I'm a horrible person. And I was afraid to talk to him, and because I just was so embarrassed that I did that. And then this was just a couple days before Christmas vacation. And then the last day of school before Christmas, he came walking up to me and he handed me this little gift wrapped little box, and I opened it, and it was a bottle of Avon roll-on perfume. They used to make the stuff for little girls. And I was like, he likes me. I was so happy. And then from Santa that year, I got a Mickey Mouse turntable, with the arm, like his arm was the.
This sounds like a horror show. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was blue.
Like
it was blue.
That's like, and it's like, la, la, la,
it was really cute.
This sounds like a horror show. What is this?
No, it was cute. I loved it. I was so happy when I got it. And then I got the Carpenters Close to You album. Okay. And that song always makes me think of Scott Hart. Because there's a line in there: on the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled stardust in your hair, and no, they sprinkled stardust in your hair, something in your eyes of blue or something. He had blue hair, blue eyes and blonde hair. Now I'm forgetting how the lyric goes. But so that song always makes me think of Scott Hart. And then after we got back from Christmas break, I think his dad was in the military or something, but because I remember him saying that his dad had gotten transferred, and he left and he moved away, and I never heard from him again.
Okay.
But
Did you
I
wear
always
that
remember getting that
perfume?
perfume. Huh?
Did you wear the perfume?
I did.
That's sweet.
Scott Hart.
Except the Mickey Mouse arm playing records. Can't get with it.
It was great. I love
just
that
can't
record
imagine it. Can you see that? Like, all I see is like a weird like doll arm that's like
Well, it played like a regular record player, dude. It didn't. He didn't think. But let me see if I can find a picture.
I know, but it's all kids' music, and kids' music sounds terrible. Sorry, not all kids' music.
No,
sounds terrible.
but it was a regular record player. It wasn't like it only played Mickey Mouse music. It wasn't like it was it wasn't like a radio. It was an actual record player.
Okay, good.
So yeah,
that doesn't with the arm, it doesn't help me that much, but it helps a little. So you could play like whatever Carpenters or the music of the times that you enjoyed. Is that? I thought that was a cat under me. Sorry, that's not.
Oh, here we go.
Girl,
wow.
Are you really?
I should have saved it. It's now worth like $100. Vintage. Wow.
Is that what they would buy it from you for? Or is that what they would sell it for?
I don't know. Oh, this one's only.
I find that these prices are frequently different. Like they'll be like, okay, so this is only, I will buy it from you for $25 and we're going to sell it to someone else for $75.
Oh, it's too glary.
I can't see it.
It's too glary. Yeah. I'll have to see if I can upload it. But yes.
You'll have to post a link.
I will post a link.
We'll post a link to that piece of Mickey Mouse nostalgia. I can honestly tell you that my favorite gift that I've ever received was from my aunts and my grandmother, who one Christmas when I was home with my boyfriend at the time, I think this was like only the second time he had at the time been home with me. My aunt and my grandmother, one of my aunts, I have many aunts, one of my aunts and my grandmother compiled a whole package of my old report cards. And it was just the most eye-opening, lovely thing. Because, sometimes you really do need to reach back to realize like that at 5 and 6, it's really the essence of who you are. Not a complete picture, but it's the essence. And so I got lots of, remarks about how she's very smart, but she talks too much. And I was like, yeah, I've always been kind of a big mouth woman. That's okay. I accept it. Who I am. What are we gonna do? We're not gonna go changing that now, are we? So yeah, that made me cry hard in front of everybody. And it was fine because it was around family only, and everyone was just sort of charmed by the fact that I was bawling my eyes out.
But what did you cry about? Just the memory of it, or the fact that somebody had pulled this together for you?
The fact that they had pulled it together for me, and it was for me, and it was done in such a way that they were like, we're making you the custodian of who you are now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're not keeping these things anymore. Mm-hmm. Which has a lot to do with people acknowledging your adulthood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like for the longest time, I feel like my entire family thought that I was 18. And I think it took some more time for them to get me to 21, and I was past 21 at that point. That might have been 3 years ago. Wink, wink.
Mm.
So yeah, it was a really beautiful, gift. And I still have it. And when I feel like I'm getting lost, I still go back to it.
Yeah, it's a nice way to kind of, because I think it's interesting when you said like making you the custodian of your past. I don't know how you worded it exactly, but I think that's interesting because I think when it's like there's a disconnect. I know there is for me, like when I think back about my childhood, it feels like I'm a different person. I guess I was, but it doesn't, it's hard for me to connect with who I was. And I think there is a sense that, well, the adults own that part of me,
Hmm?
because they were, interacting with me, but I don't, it's like I don't own that. So I know what you mean when because I just because when you said that it's like the essence of who you are, you know what I'm going to say, right? About that essay about the happy pig. My mom found this box of a few years ago. She found this box of stuff that was mine in her garage, and it was papers from school and stuff. And there was a group of essays that we'd written in second grade, like with the big lines on the paper, the huge lines
Big
on the
Chief.
paper.
I
Yeah,
remember that paper.
and there were different, different subjects. Like there was one about puppies. I said I like puppies because they're fun to play with, and frogs. I don't like frogs, but boys do, and they're all very nice. But then the one that was about the pig, and it said, I like pigs because I like pork chops, ham, and bacon. Pigs are cute when they're little, and then they get big, and we eat them. I guess my essence is that I'm not meant to be a vegetarian.
Right. There's definitely that.
But I think
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's lovely. And I think and we're gonna share with you guys some of because we asked people to tell us their favorite gift stories, but I think what becomes clear is that obvious, and not surprisingly, it's not the ones that cost money that we remember. It's the
Yeah.
meaning.
There's so much more meaning to things. Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a lot of the things with meaning really, really leave an impression on you, you know.
I need some lip balm. I'm gonna have to have you tell me how to make lip balm. I got chapped lips all of a sudden, I realized. But
Oh, I
yeah,
don't make lip balms. I only do body butters, hair oils, and my flaxseed gel.
we're gonna have to have a show so you can talk about your products.
Yes.
Um, but one of my favorite gifts, it wasn't a Christmas gift, but it was just such a sweet, thoughtful, romantic gift. It was after I had a first date with this guy that in college, and for our first date, we just went over to his place. We got a 6-pack of beer and went over and hung out at his place. And then the next morning, I opened my front door and there's one of the beer bottles, and there was a yellow rose in it, which was really sweet. And then for our 1-year anniversary, he was from Boston. I went to school in Santa Barbara, and he had gone back to Boston. So for our first anniversary, I walked out of my apartment in the morning, and there's the same brand of beer bottle with a yellow rose in it. And it was, I mean, I just think it's like somebody remembers something that's important to you and
Hmm.
acknowledges it. That still is one of the best gifts I've ever gotten too. So romantic and sweet and thoughtful.
Speaking of which, why don't we get into
Let's get into it.
what your gifts are? The things that have left an impression on you, the gifts that you've given that have left an impression on you. Because that's a whole other side of it. Like when you are making a decision to give something to someone, then sometimes we give people things that we think that they would like. And sometimes we give people things that we think that they need. And then there are other times when we are close enough with that person to collect and provide something to them that will leave an unindelible mark on their life. These are the kinds of things like, the collectibles and that sort of thing. But sometimes the things are deeply personal, like a collection of your grade cards when you were, in school. So why don't we kick it off with one of the folks that you were working with on this, Angela?
Okie dokie. I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start with my friend Mary. She says, the best Christmas gift I ever received is probably the one my mother sent me this year. I've spent every Christmas of my, I'm not even going to say how, she's so brave. She put her age in here, but I'm not going to say because that I never know how old I am because we went to school together with my mother and my father until my father's death in 2017. And almost always also with my brothers and their families. This year, I cannot travel to Colorado where my family lives, so I will be spending Christmas in California with my dog, Lily. Knowing how hard this was going to be for me, my mother sent me a very small live Christmas tree decorated with mini lights and candy cane ornaments and felt and ribbon packages on a colorful string. When it came in the mail, I had one of the biggest smiles I've had in months. I was completely surprised. My 85-year-old mother will also be spending Christmas alone for the first time in her life with her dog, Perky. We'll talk by phone. And then she says, so that was the best gift she's received. So one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever given is the one that made my older brother cry. He and his family had just moved from the San Francisco Bay Area to Chicago. I found a beautiful photo of the Golden Gate Bridge, shrouded in fog, but with the sun shining through at a craft fair. It had a really nice dark wood frame. When he opened it at Christmas, he cried. It was a reminder of home and the changes he and his family had made with their move to Chicago.
Wow.
You want to go do one of yours?
Yes, I would love to. So I have one of my friends responded with a grandmother who provided her with a gift of a black cameo and a bracelet that she actually loved. So there's a whole thing with our elders, right, who give us things that they love while they're still alive. It doesn't always happen, and so when it does, it's a really, really, really special occurrence and occasion. So I really felt that one from the heart. And yeah, she also indicated that, that they're pieces that'll stay in her family, and be passed along. And so this is one of the ways, and I don't know if people realize this, but this is one of the ways that people have passed on family wealth as well. People pass on grandma's silverware that's from the Civil War era, and her cast iron skillets. You know what I mean? These are things that have an antique value to them, but more importantly, they're marks for your family, right? So I thought that was a lovely submission.
When my grandmother died, this is my dad's mom. It was just one of those bad situations where the family swoops in and, and there was conflict about who got what, but basically I'm not going to give the details, but there were some things that my grandmother had told me she was going to give me, but they were not, that didn't happen. And which made me sad. It wasn't that I needed those things particularly, but it's just, I wanted some kind of, memory of her. And then a few months later, I got a box in the mail, and it was from one of my aunts, and she said that they were able to get to salvage a few things and of my grandmother's, and and she sent me a quilt, and it was the quilt that I just loved. That quilt, when I was to visit my grandmother, that was the quilt that was on the bed in the bedroom where I would always stay. And yeah, I'm gonna cry. But so I got the quilt. So that was
That's
lovely.
good.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I didn't think that would make me cry. Sorry.
It's don't apologize. This is why we're talking about this. We need to be more in touch with these things. These are gifts, you know?
Yeah.
That tear is a gift from her to you, saying
Yeah.
that I you know,
Well, and it's the
this
fact
is
that I
part
didn't
of
think
you.
that I would get anything, to remember her by. So, and
Yeah,
so that, I did. Okay, let's do a funny one so I can stop crying.
it's your turn.
This is from my friend Ashley. And she's been working with a Reiki healer, and the woman had told her that she should have the color orange, get a rocker crystal in orange, the color orange. That was a good color for her in terms of her energy healing. So she asked her mom for an orange stone or crystal. And so she said her mom did a great job. She bought her orange calcite. But when she went to look at the properties of calcite, she found out that its primary purpose is unleashing sexual energies. She said, I don't think my mom read the properties before she got it for me. But so yeah, thank you, Mom.
That's funny. Or maybe she did, honey. We'll never.
Who knows? We'll
You
never know. You never know. Moms can be
it's a
cooler than we
blessing
think.
either way, isn't it?
Moms can be cool.
Moms can be cool.
Okay, you got one?
I do. Um, I've been fighting that yawn for so long. Why am I yawning? This is dumb. Like, there's no reason for me to be yawning
Dude,
right now.
I spent the last 2 days sleeping and eating. Like, that's it. I was so tired yesterday. I was
I
exhausted.
had dinner. I didn't even bother with breakfast today because why?
Yeah,
You know?
after 12 hours of Zooming, I was exhausted. Anyway, you're up.
Um, so I have a friend who indicated that she was gifted tickets to see the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, which is an incredibly special dance troupe for African Americans, and they also honor our history in a way that a lot of multi-ethnic sort of, and also not so multi-ethnic dance companies fail to do. So I have the utmost respect for Alvin Ailey, and that is most certainly a gift. Um, and then that same individual has indicated that the nicest, the best gift that she has given was a laptop to her daughter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Because, I happen to know that this particular woman is an artist. And these things in New York, you know what it's like being an artist in New York these days?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's it's not always the easiest thing to do. So, these gifts make our lives more livable and the lives of our children more livable. So it's good. It's a really beautiful thing to share with you know, your child or your growing into a woman child, because I happen to know that her daughter is right on the cusp of fully legal autonomous age. So yeah, so I'm wishing them both blessings and lots of love between the two of them.
Okay, this is from my friend Helen, our friend Helen, and she was kind of a tomboy as a kid, and she usually asked for trucks and toy cars with GI Joe, which I can relate to because I collected Hot Wheels. But she said when she was 6, she was taking ballet classes. And so she decided she wanted to ask for a ballerina doll. Our timer just went off, Shauna. And so she got it. She said she was cool looking, and it was mechanical, like she would spin around. But she said the problem was when the toy would spin around, it would make this awful grinding sound. And it was horrible. She said, I think that's when my cynical life started. And also when I started my resistance to ballet and girly things in general. So, but she said, I still have my G.I. Joes.
Listen to me. If you ask any ballerina, they're going to tell you that it's a grind. Ha ha ha. See what I did there?
That was good. That was good.
Hey.
Whoop, whoop. Nicely done, LaShonda.
Listen, I try my best, honey. It is Sunday.
Do you have any more you want to share?
I do have one more.
Okay.
I have a person who has indicated that their best trip, their best gift received was a trip to Paris with shopping included. That's fantastic.
I want to know how they manage that one. Where can I get on that one?
I wanted to ask for details, but I was like, you know what? If details wanted to show up, details would have been given. Details are not provided. I was like, you know what? Let that be the gift.
Get me on that.
Because I'm going to tell you what. I would still be very close with that person that provided me with that gift. Also, though, people receive things in the strangest ways. Like I remember being gifted tickets to see Lisa and Cult Jam when I was way underage. I had to take one of my aunts with me because they were like, well, little girl, can you put an adult on the phone? It was one of those radio things.
Right.
I was like, okay, And my aunt was like, well, I guess, if she really wants to go, I guess I'll go with her. So yeah, so there was that. And then the most thoughtful gift was a restored photo of this woman and her niece when they were both little girls.
I'm glad you said that because I was having trouble coming up with the best gift I've ever given, because I think those are hard because you don't know how your giftness, you don't necessarily know how your gift impacts somebody else. But like Scott Hart probably does not remember giving me that Avon perfume. And if he does, has no idea how much it meant to me. But I think one of the favorite gifts I've given is I found an old picture of my mom's mom, my grandma Clara, and with 2 of her siblings. And I had it restored and framed and professionally framed. And she just loved that picture. And that was so fun for me to do because I knew it was something that she would never expect. And that she wouldn't have done for herself. And it made her cry. So I have 2 more, and then I think we're getting close to our time here. But so this is my friend Stephanie said that she sent a picture of herself as a little girl with opening a camera, present of a camera. She said, I'm pretty sure no gift ever excited me this much. It's not the only camera I've ever gotten for Christmas, and not even the first camera, but there's something about this camera that made it easy for her to use, and she could figure it out, and she just loved it. And she's very happy in the picture. And then the last one I wanted to share is from a friend, Marie. And Marie is how I got my cat Astro. We've mentioned her before, but she said that, like a lot of us, she was struggling a little bit this year. She said she likes being alone in general, but this Christmas has been hard for all of us. She
Yeah.
said this year, she said she got in her head that she had to have a black cake for Christmas, which I said to Lashonda, I don't know what that is, but Lashonda does. So Lashonda can share that. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that. But she said um, she had friends who, and I think this is why it was meaningful for her in particular this year, was her friends who had introduced it to her have passed. And also another friend whose father used to make it um, is out of state. So you want to tell us a little bit about what it is, and then I'll finish up the story.
So the black cake is a West Indian fruit cake, and it's more fruits than it is anything else. So what people do is they start soaking the fruit in brandy and other alcohols in the summer. And
Wow.
then when it's about time to start making those cakes, 6, 8 months later, the fruits are nicely saturated with the brandy, and then
Boozy.
they mix it with the other things, and then they make this very dense, very delicious black cake. But it's mostly because of all the fruits. You mix reds and purples and all these colors, you get this almost blackish color. And when I tell you that this is not the fruit cake, the little dried in the tin fruit cake that folks, may be familiar with that are commercially available, it's not that. This is some of the most delicious stuff on the face of the earth. And it might knock you out too. It's delicious stuff.
Well, I had never heard of it, so I'm glad I know about it now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so our friend, she said she looked for it online, thinking maybe she could make a socially distant bakery run. She wasn't having any luck with it. She ran into a neighbor, and he and his wife are foodie types, so she thought maybe he would know. She mentioned it to him. He said he didn't know what it was, but that he would look around while he was doing errands. And I think what I like about this story is that this is somebody who I can relate to, because she doesn't like asking people for help.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was just like, no, don't bother, it's okay. And but this neighbor was determined to find this cake for her, and she kept getting texts from him all afternoon that he wasn't able to find it. And she's like, she keeps trying, don't worry about it, just drop it, don't worry, I'm fine. And then a couple hours later, she gets a phone call saying, come outside. And her neighbor had a cake, which he found at Jamaican Pride Bakery, and it was hot from the oven. And he was super excited because he said everyone in the shop he was like so excited. We walked into the shop, and he was like, I found it. And he told them the story about trying to find it and his neighbor. And he didn't know what it was. And everybody in the store was like, how could you not know about this, about black cake? And so they were happy that there was somebody who now knew about this, and she didn't expect to get it, and she kind of given up. And sometimes, when you ask for things, you get them. So
And incidentally, I hope that Marie gets a chance to watch this episode. I must say that I miss her dearly. She really is a gem of a human for so many reasons. So yes,
we'll put a link to her. She's an artist. She's the artist in residence at Coney Island, USA. So we'll
she's fantastic.
put a link on our comments.
We have to also add a link for the Free Black Women's Library, which is an organization that my friend who was talking about receiving the gift of the Alvin Ailey tickets, that is her project. It's her everything. It's her brainchild. It's basically a free library of literature for and about and written by African American women and women of African descent. So, and she's done exhibitions at MoMA. She's fantastic. So yes, we'll provide links to also the Free Black Women's Library. Buy some merch. The merch is fantastic. So
Yeah, there's a movie that I love, a documentary, and I bought it, so I'd have a copy of it. A friend of mine was like, you can find it on YouTube. And I'm like, no, because we got to support. This goes, the money from the sale of this goes to directly to BAM, which is one of the institutions that I support. And so yeah, so when you can throw these folks who are struggling so hard, throw them a little money, because
Please do. Yeah.
because what I'm nervous about, LaShonda, and we've talked about this, is when we come out of the other side of this, I'm almost more nervous about coming out on the other side of this COVID thing and seeing what's left, But so we got to do our best to support folks. And
Absolutely.
and I think one of the things that I really got from thank you to everybody who sent in your stories.
Thank
Those
you.
were awesome. But what I got from reading through those is it's just as lovely for the giver, to give a gift. I think in some ways it's almost more meaningful to be the giver of a gift that somebody values than the receiver. But we all need both. So I'm a firm believer, as LaShonda knows, in asking the universe for what we need, and we very often get it. And also for paying attention to other people around us who need things, and if we have it to give, then it feels good to give it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just an ear, and sometimes it's shared meal,
Yeah.
And while we can't sit down at the same table, that doesn't mean that you can't make someone a plate and say, hey, I'm packaging this up, put some foil on top. I'm going to put it in a bag. I'm going to hang it on your door.
Yep.
From my home to yours. People need that stuff now.
We all need
People
each other.
That. We do.
We all need each other, and we all have gifts, and we all have resources, and we all have talents, and we need to share them.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
One of the things that comes to mind is that I don't know if you're familiar with sorry. Give me a second. Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis. Mm-hmm. Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis were both African American actors. They were also a couple. Allegedly, I don't know if this is true. I'm not going to check on it right now. I could Google that, but I'm not doing it because I love the story too much to ruin it for you and for me. But apparently, there is a story that indicates that Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee wanted to have an urn or a mausoleum dedicated to the two of them. And so no matter who died first or last, the inscription should read, because both of them should be enclosed or buried or cremated into this space, interred in this space, that says, we're in this thing together, Ozzie and Ruby.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's all I got, baby.
All right. I'm not going to say anything because I'll cry. So thank you again, everybody, for watching us, for supporting us, for saying nice things about us, for subscribing to this, for sending in your stories. And Merry Christmas. This year's almost over. Yay! Let's hope for the best for next year.
Happy holidays, guys. For whatever you're celebrating or not celebrating. And it's okay that Christmas Day can be just another day. Yeah. That's okay too.
That's okay too. And we'll see you next week on A Black Woman and a White Woman Walk into a Bar. I love you, LaShonda.
I love you more.
Well, we'll have to talk. Well, let's discuss.
She's so argumentative, people.
We'll have a contest.
Bye, girl.
All right, folks. Bye-bye. I'm looking for the the stop recording button.